this the best we can, and I got some great friends. All of you have played a part in our lives, and some of my music guys here have volunteered to use their talents today. A couple people had to cancel, like I said. Marty Raven from Shenandoah, he called this morning. He had to cancel, unfortunately. But Marty, he and I were traveling together when she was diagnosed, and I had to call him and tell him I couldn't go anymore. He called her every week and prayed for her. And if you've never heard of Marty Raven's prayer, you're missing it. Devin knows. So we're gonna, Dave Gibson, Angelia absolutely loves you. I'm gonna see if I can make you cry before you say it. And he wrote one of the most amazing songs that you've ever heard, and he's going to do that for us. And if little pre-warning here, Roxanne, I'm sorry, I'm changing the order up. Tommy Barnes, if you'll let Tommy use your guitar after you're done, he's going to do a song for us. So, thank you, everybody.
Yeah, Tommy, you'll have to tune it back up because I tuned mine down to D today because I had been having a little vocal issues and got a little rasp in my voice. But I don't think Angelia would mind because she did, as you said, Dale, she always loved this song. And I remember coming to you guys' parties every year, and we just had a ball over there. When this happened and everything, I just couldn't believe it. I just like, no. Angelia is probably one of the sweetest person I've ever met. You know? And I'm devastated, but I tell you, she's in a much better place, and this is for you, darling. I don't know. Is this on? I don't know. Okay. I can tell you had a tough life by the way you sat and stared. Me, I'd come to push and shove, so I pulled up a chair. We talked of roads untraveled, and we talked of loves untrue. The strings that come unraveled, we were kings and kindred fools. And just when I hit bottom, that old man raised his glass, said at least we've had our chances. There's those who never had. So here's to all the soldiers who have ever died in vain, the insane locked up in themselves, the homeless down on Main, those who stand on empty shores and spin against the wind, and those who wait forever for ships that don't come in. You say it's only life's illusions that bring us to this bar, to pick up these old crutches and compare each other's scars. The things we're calling heartaches, they're hardly worth our time. You know, we bet you about $1, and there's those without a dime. And as he ordered one last round, he said, I guess we can't complain. God made life the gamble, and we're still in the game. So here's to all the soldiers who've ever died in vain. The insane locked up in themselves, the homeless down on Main. Those who stand on empty shores and spill against the wind, and those who wait forever for ships that don't come in. Yeah, the ones who wait forever for ships that don't come in. Miss Angelia.
Thank you, Dave. Adam, would it be easier? Can Tony use your guitar? Is it tuned right? Or Dave's got his all weird. Tony, you want to come up? It's kind of like Angelia's here today because we had Henley. Her granddaughter, who just scolded me for being on my phone. I promise I was looking at the order for the day to see how I was going to mess it up. But she is just like her grandmother. And we're all glad you're here. Shanna, Ryan, Jake, Mal, Becky, y'all meant a lot to us, both here and watching online. We had so many calls and texts, and I've done nothing for the last month but respond to messages, and I love it. I thank all of you. So, Tommy, I don't know what he's exactly going to do. Tommy's had a lot of hit songs he's written, but I've asked him to fill in. Jack Cassidy is going to join us today. He's a new young guy in town and got an amazing new single called "Let Go, Let God" that y'all need to check out because it would have been a blessing for everybody today. So, but I asked Tommy if he would take that spot, and Angelia loves so many of his songs that he would do at our Christmas picking parties. So you just render this morning.
All right, I wrote this about 17 years ago. I had an older brother that had passed away. One of the sad parts about living to be so old is you lose a lot of people along the way, And anyway, this song is one that I wrote right after he passed, and I like to do it. It's called "I Want to Go to Heaven When I Die." Find out what key it sings. Haven't always been a righteous man. These days I try to do the best I can. There's got to be a world beyond that rainbow in the sky, and I won't go to heaven when I die. to heaven when I die. I wanna see those pearly gates of heaven. I wanna see where angels learn to fly. Oh, I long to see again my family and my friends who come and go and go as time goes by. I wanna go to heaven when I die.
Awesome, Tommy, thank you. Devin O'Day, great friend of ours, long time. Devin was a voice you probably all heard on WSM for many years, and 3 years ago, we had a UFO show.
Yeah.
Angelia and Travis Walton and Devin Jordan and all kind of things stretching out there. And Devin's also a hit songwriter and horsewoman, many things in common with Angelia. So ask her to come up and say a few words to y'all today. So, and after Devin, David, if you, and I think Tim's going to accompany you, if y'all will be ready after that. And I guess, can he use your guitar too? Adam's not going to play today. He thinks he is. He just furnished the guitar. Have a good day, everybody.
You know, first of all, hi. Angelia, the last time I talked to her, the last 2 times I talked to her, she apologized that they were going to have to move the picking party. Welcome to the picking party. I looked around, I went, well, these were exactly the people who would be at the picking party. This is awesome. And I was raised by a Baptist preacher, so I'm going to claim scripture right here because I believe she is looking down on us because it guarantees that we are surrounded by a cloud of witnesses. And if there's everybody who is a witness to the divine, it is Angelia. You know, there are those people that you meet in life that you've known for years and years and years and years and years. And when you ask about them, you go, I really don't know a darn thing about them. They don't know me. And then there are those people that the minute, the second, the instance that you meet them, you know everything about them. You know that they see you and you see them. And they recognize and appreciate and respect who you are right where you are. And that was Angelia. She didn't have a judgmental bone in her body. She thought big. She saw big, and she saw every one of you. And you knew it from the second you met her. You know, there are those people in this world who are rooted to this plane, this earthly plane, and this planet. They feel very comfortable here, and this is all there is to them. And then there are those people who see the big picture. They know beyond a shadow of a doubt that there is more than what we see here. They see into the future, into the other worlds, and they don't put God in a box because they know that our Creator was big enough to create big universes and infinities. And she saw that, Angelia. She was also one that saw in the past. And anyone that had ever been before, somehow they found a way on both sides, the past and the future, to communicate with all of us through Angelia. You know, I saw a TED Talk of a woman who was a doctor, and she had a stroke. She was a neurosurgeon, and she dealt with people who had strokes all the time. And she was in the middle of a stroke, and she said, oh my gosh, I'm having one of those things. This is my chance to see what everybody I've been helping, what they go through. And she said, at the moment that it happened, she said, all of a sudden, I was bigger than my body. I was bigger than this earth. I was bigger, and I just felt this peace in this place. I floated all around, and it was so big. And I think about little Angelia, and she is bigger than anything she's ever experienced. Because this world and this body and this home was just too small to contain all that she is. And I say is, because she is, and forever will be. I'm Irish. The name my dad and O'Day, probably did. And third generation, I had to go to Ireland in January, right before the world shut down. And it all made sense. Who I was in that moment, and why, as speakers and as pastors and people in my family, why we couldn't let it go without a song. And I want you all to close your eyes, because this one is from Angelia. I'm going home where love is waiting. I'm going home, so do not cry. And when I go, I won't be walking, 'cause I have wings to fly. Oh, and I will have my horses and flowers at my side, with the silver rains from angels, my horses and I will ride. I'm going home where love is waiting. I'm going home, so do not cry. And when I go, I won't be walking, 'cause I have wings to fly. Oh, my friends will come to meet me. My family will gather too. Oh, and when your time here's over, I'll be waiting here for you. I'm going home where love is waiting. I'm going home, so do not cry. And when I go, I won't be walking, 'cause I have wings to fly. And when I go, I won't be walking, 'cause I have wings to fly. Angelia, we see you. We feel you. Thank you for seeing us.
See why we love living in Nashville? So many wonderful, talented people. I'm looking around, and I see so many great friends. Our church family, and just means the world. It's all here. Lee, she loves you, man. JJ, God, we've only known you a few years, but man, she loves y'all. Terry, Kevin, and I just go through the whole audience. Jeff Prince back there, Beverly and Darren. Karen, her best friend for years. didn't know you were going to be here. Glad you're here. But this it's still not real, you know. We were planning a lot of stuff. You all heard the old saying, don't put your plans off because you don't know. And but you know what? We had such a life. I can't be sad about it. The things that we didn't get through because we did so much. And this fella right here, David Frizzell, was a part of that. Pre-COVID, we were on the road. And Angelia didn't get to go a lot with me when I was going out to play music and stuff. But she went one time with us, with me and David. And when we left Nashville, we took David's bus, and David likes to drive. So Angelia sat up there with David and talked and cut up. And when it came my turn to drive, she went to bed. So I guess she can talk to me anytime. So please welcome David Frizzell, joined by Tim Atwood on piano, and love you guys.
Some great pictures. Let's see Jay here.
To you, I may never be more just a friend, but you'll always be special to me. To you, I may never be closer.
So awesome. As I said, Angelia will be rolling her eyes right now because I'm always behind and everything. I usually get there, but it's right at the moment, you know. And through all my great plans, I went through these pictures and I put most of them together this morning. So you might notice they started out being in order. They were, you know, family and, you know, her young and then family and then me and her and then UFO people and horse people, and it's all jumbled up now. I just had to get here. And Again, as I look around, I see, I think most of you know that she got her book put out last year. And real proud of her for doing that. Some of the people that are talked about in that book and shared their stories are here today. And that book would not have been possible without y'all. Ron, Matt, some of you back there. I think I saw her earlier. But she was really groundbreaking in her studies and her ideas about life beyond this world. And I know a lot of times that doesn't go in a church setting. Angelia and I believe that just makes God that much bigger because He created all of it. And, so, David Carr, he's one of the ones that dragged us into the Bigfoot world. Thanks a lot, buddy. So with that, we're going to go right along and let Tim, he's sitting up here anxiously at the piano. I'm going to sing a little song for us, I think.
Yeah.
Tim Atwood, everybody.
You know, most times people, when they go to funerals and stuff, they wear black. And I started to wear black today, and I thought, no, Angelia was not black, she was alive, inside and out. I feel like now she's, you know, heaven is basically a gated community. And I couldn't afford to live in a gated community here, but I promise you I will someday. I'm going to do this song especially for you, Dale. This is a song, I lost a wife in 2000. We've been married 20 years. She was 49 years old. And so I know kind of what you're going through. I've been through this, and there's a big hole in your heart, but if you just take all the love that's surrounding you, you can fill that hole up. This is a song called You First. The river looked much wider than it ever did before. Even though we crossed 100 times or more, we were scared, so we dared each other. You first, and I'll be right behind you. You first, I'll meet you on the other side. The nature of a hero requires a leap of faith. You find out what you're made of when it's your time to say you first. A chopper drops a ladder in the middle of the war. Sergeant said there's only room for just one more. Two wounded brothers, one says to the other, you first, and I'll be right behind you. You first, I'll meet you on the other side. The nature of a hero requires a leap of faith. You'll find out what you're made of when it's your time to say you first. Now I'm standing over you. All the years that we've been through, I thought it would be me. Never thought that it might be you first, and I'll be right behind you. You first, I'll meet you on the other side. You always
Tim's wife told me he was going to do that. I'm like, great. I'm not been crying enough. Anyway, appreciate that. Want to invite probably Angelia's, Karen's, Angelia's friend back growing up. Saw a lot of pictures of you through the years. You haven't changed. Probably lately, the person that Angelia was doing the most with, young lady singer on COT. She's been on red carpets forever and doing countdowns, and she's a singer herself, songwriter. Angelia, y'all know she's the UFO girl. That was on my license plate on my truck. It says Songman. I got her a license plate for her car. It said UFO girl. So when we had Katie Cook, they became the UFO girls. And I'm going to invite Katie Cook up here to say a few words. And Matt, if you want to say a few things after Katie, let me know. Matt is the guy that Angelia spent time on the phone when I wasn't on the phone with her. She told me, oh, I talk to Matt every day on the way to work. I'm like, great. So some of you may have seen we did a lot of live videos, and one of the live videos we did, we were driving cross country in a little adventure to go to California for Thanksgiving. And she noticed a sign for Snowflake, Arizona. And she said, oh great, that's where Travis Walton lives. We can stop and see Travis. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. And she didn't know that Travis and I had been talking for 2 weeks planning this. And she kept seeing signs. Oh, he's right there, we could just stop in. No, I'm not spending my vacation taking you to see another man. But we did. And there's a cool video on our pages. Travis Walton, of course, his story was depicted in the movie Fire in the Sky. And great guy. He came to Nashville a couple times, and but I did ultimately take my girl to see another man on vacation. So, Katie Cook, everybody.
Hey everyone, I'm short, so I was holding it together pretty good till you sang that song. Yeah. I'm very honored to be here today to celebrate our friend, our dear Angelia. I'm going to start by telling you something that one of Angie's other closest friends, Deb Jordan, said to describe her. Deb said, Angelia had the mind of a scientist and the heart of an angel. And I think that's perfect. And I want to talk about her heart a little bit today. I met Angelia a couple of years ago at a MUFON meeting. For anyone who doesn't know, that's Mutual UFO Network. And afterwards I approached her and I said it would be nice to talk sometime about our experiences. And we agreed to have a double date a few weeks later at her favorite restaurant, J. Alexander's. Both our husbands are musicians. I figured they'd have plenty to talk about in addition to the paranormal. I found myself almost immediately just pouring my guts out to her and telling her all about my paranormal experiences and my personal research over the years. She was such a patient and compassionate listener. She told me I wasn't alone. She said she would be there for me even if it was 3 a.m. She said she would come and sit by my bed in the middle of the night if I needed her to. And she meant it. And from that day on, I knew she had my back, and I had hers. I found a confidant, a friend, an ally in research. And what we bonded over the most was, it doesn't matter how much proof we get, what's really going to be the most important at the end of the day are the people. That's where her heart was. It wasn't just about nuts and bolts research and science. It was to comfort and to listen without judgment